What's going on, travelers? What's going on, man? We are so glad to be here again for another episode of the Success Journey Show. And listen, guys, we are going to jump right into our segment with our guests. Man, we have a special guest. Every week we have a great guest, right? I keep saying this every single week. We have a great guest, right? But it's always good to get people from around the globe. And our guest today will share where he is, his background, and just a little bit more about himself.
Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
So today, we have none other than Ari Galper. Ari, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the Success Journey Show.
I'm looking forward to talking to the dream team over here.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
Man, honor having you, man.
We're the 98 dream team, though, the 98.
Yeah. Exactly.
98 or the 90s, was it 98 or 96?
98? I don't know.
Or 92. 92.
92.
There you go.
92.
Yeah. Say, pick the right dream team because a couple of them are lost, man. We don't want those ones. But all right, man, why don't you share with our travelers and guests and listeners, I should say, all around the world, just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my specialty is trust-based selling. I've been in this niche for 20 years, nothing else but only this refining over time, a unique process for how to make the sale without pressuring people, without closing, without chasing. All the stuff we hate about selling will be eliminated hopefully today. So it's a really radical approach. It's helped thousands of people, and I want to share some ideas that help everyone today. And I'm originally, you probably got the accent, from California originally. I live in Sydney now. Met my wife on a dating site 20 years ago. It was pre-swiping, just image and text. We had a conversation. I came out here, visited her, we got married, and then back to California, and we had our first son, Toby, and we discovered and told he had Down syndrome. And at first we realized what gift we had in our hands, and we realized what a beautiful boy this guy is. And if you know someone that has Down syndrome, you know how beautiful they are, right? They got no hidden agenda. They're pure in the soul. They just have nothing hiding there. And I was like, man, what a gift. And so I wrote a book about him called Lessons from Toby, how to be honest, open, integrity, transparent. And he became the mascot, the hero behind our business. And I've taken his approach to life and embedded throughout my processes to help you be more successful, being authentic. And that's really the core of what I do.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Yes. Today's going to be exciting for me because as a lot of people know, I was a recruiter in the Marine Corps, and sales and unfortunately, Ari, sometimes it's high pressure sales, right? Because we're dealing with lives here and stuff like that. But today, I definitely want to jump into the story. But before we do that, we wanted to know if you'd have met Ari in grade 10, what kind of person you'd have said Ari was? What would your people around you be like? Yeah, that's Ari right there.
Oh man, when I was at that age, I was shy, introverted. I kept things to myself. I grew up with a parent who's a bit dominant, and so I had a hard time expressing my truth. I was very inside. And I think my mission, a lot of my work has been to help myself express myself, to help other people be courageous, to get to the truth with people in an environment that can sometimes be contentious. And so I was shy, grew up, and then, I really just found myself. And then an experience happened that kind of woke me up with this whole approach. But I think I've been really driven by the idea of helping people get to the truth with other people, just like I wish I was able to do when I was younger. And I think very much I'm healing myself by helping other people heal themselves to be more successful by being direct, honest, open with people in the sales process without any games at all.
Man, I definitely got to hear more about that aspect of it, because when people hear sales, right? The most common thing you hear with sales is the used car salesman, right? That's like, I don't know why they have such the worst rap, right? And just when it comes to sales. And then the second person you hear is, I remember when I was looking for a job and I was going to sell knives. And, I was going to go door to door and doing the demonstration for people. So those are the things that come to mind on my end with sales. What was it that kind of really drove you to that sales market industry?
Sure. So you're talking about the stereotypical image of what sales is supposed to be. And I've made it my mission to redefine that image,
Yeah.
to change the definition of selling as it is, and to reframe it, reposition it in a way that makes more sense for everyone without any roadkill along the way, like your soul. So let me tell this story behind how I came to this light around this concept. So 20 years ago, I was a sales manager at a software company. We launched the first online website tracking tools. Now it's called Google Analytics. You might have heard that before, but we launched the first tool years ago, and I was managing this 18 people underneath me, big, fast growing company. This one lead came across my desk, big opportunity. I called him back. Great conversation and lots of websites. If it closes one sale, it will double the revenue in one opportunity. That's how big it was. So the guy agrees to a conference call and a demo on a Friday afternoon. Friday, the day finally came. I'm in the conference room with my CEO. A closed door behind me, big long conference table. In the middle of the table is the old school speakerphones. Remember the 3 legs on it?
Yeah.
And I hit the speakerphone. I dialed the number, and my guy's like, "Hey, Ari, how's it going?" I said, "Good." We a quick chit chat. And he says to me, "Ari, let us tell you who's with us today on the line." And I was like, "Great, who else is there?" Next thing I know, I hear is, "My name's Chris, I'm CEO." I was like, "Oh, this is good." "My name's Darren, I'm head of global IT." This is even better. "My name is Julie, I'm head of global marketing." Amazing. I mean, everybody on this call was a decision maker.
Wow.
Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now because they are all there, right?
Yeah.
So I introduced myself. Then we logged in, and I started showing a demo of how it all works on their websites in advance. And I'm clicking around, and I started these noises on the phone call, like, "Wow, this is great. This is amazing." They start asking me all kinds of questions. How does it work? How do we install it? And of course, I had all the answers. There was so much chemistry on this phone call. It was like a love fest on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they got the questions. I got the answers.
That perfect setup. It was actually like a movie.
Exactly. There's like no resistance here at all. I'm like, this is how it should be. And I'm doing everything I was taught to do by the gurus. I was building relationships, answering objections, rapport. I was doing everything by the book. Checklist. And it was awesome. The call comes to a close. My guy's like, "Ari, this is great. We love it. Look, give us a call a couple of weeks, follow up with us, and we'll move this thing forward." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, God." I was like so happy. And I said my goodbyes. I took my hand, reached for the speakerphone on the phone, and I'm reaching for the off button. As I reached for the off button by complete accident, now it's the divine intervention, I hit the mute button instead of the off button. Like they were a wrong click. I hit the wrong button and it clicked, and it thought I hung up the phone. And that split second, a voice inside of me said, "Ari, go to the dark side. Be a fly on the wall. Go where no one's ever gone before in the world of sales."
Star Trek.
Yes, that's it. Star Trek, exactly. Listen in. So I pulled my thumb back for a couple of seconds. They started talking amongst themselves, thinking I had left the call. Now, this is not a trick question, but what would you expect them to say after a call like that? What would you imagine they would have said after a call like that? What would you think?
You would think they're talking about how well the product is, how well you present the product, and that they're ready to move forward.
That's the way we need to go, guys. Yep, I think that's the way we need to go.
That's what I was waiting to hear. But let me tell you what I heard. Let me tell you what I heard verbatim, word for word. Here's what they said. They said, "We're not going to go with him. Keep using him for more information, and let's shop someplace else cheaper." Knife in heart twist, man. I was in a state of shock.
Oh my goodness.
I snapped out of it. I hit the off button out of the wall, and I said to myself, "What did I do wrong?" I was competent. I was professional. They loved it. I had a value. I did everything by the book I was supposed to do. And then I realized I had this first epiphany, and that was this: somewhere along the way, it has become socially acceptable not to tell the truth to people who sell, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
okay to say things like, sounds good, send me information, we're definitely interested. Wait, send me a what? A proposal? Oh yeah, give me a proposal, we're definitely interested.
Oh, we
Well,
figured
any
that.
intention of buying.
Yeah. You're right on, Ari.
Yep.
You know, as you're
This is
saying
the
that.
best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I asked myself, why were they afraid to tell me the truth? Why all the games? Why drag me through the mud like that? And I realized there's an invisible river of pressure that flows underneath every sales chat you have with someone in your process. And unless you're aware of it and you can see it, unless you remove it from your process, you'll always be fighting that wall along the way and never get the truth with people. So I invented my whole and different approach where the goal is not to sell anymore. The goal is to build trust with someone where they feel comfortable opening up to you and telling you where they stand. So you're not guessing along the way and hoping they might buy from you. Just cut through all the noise. And that's my whole unique trust-based selling approach I've been working on for years, and now it's helped lots of people. So that's what I want to share with you today, some ideas around that.
So somebody that's in sales is going to watch this and they're going to hear you talk about the trust, right? And they're just saying, oh, he's just prolonging the rapport building stage of the sales process. How can you differentiate between what you do and the rapport building stage of the sales process?
I'm going to drop a bomb right now, okay? And here's the bomb, because a lot. I warn you in advance. My work's very contrarian. So the relationship building and trust building are mutually exclusive. Meaning you don't have to build a relationship with someone in the sales process to make the sale. People go, oh, they got to like me, they got to know me better, let's get to know each other better. What I tell my clients is I say, look, build a relationship with them after they're a client, not before they're a client. Because one, they know it's fake anyways. Two, they don't want to become your friend. They only want their problem solved. What do we do? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. How's the weather outside? Oh yeah, hey. We're like, it's like, are you kidding me? This whole relationship thing is BS. Too early in the process. Like when you go see a doctor, do they try and become your friend? No.
Yeah.
They say, where does it hurt? And you say right here. He says, let me take a look. Over here, oh wow. You gotta get an x-ray right away. We gotta diagnose the problem and see what the issue is. You're like, okay, whatever you say, doc. And then you lay out a plan to solve the problem. See, we're so conditioned to kind of like get people to like us. That extends the whole process. That ruins everything.
Yeah. Well, I might have ruined a couple of friendships or stay. But I believe in that rapport building so much from recruiting. Oh my goodness.
We've been taught that's what we taught over the years, get them to like us first. When they like us, then they'll buy from us. But the truth is they don't even have to like you. All they have to know is you're the doctor to solve their problem. They only want their problem solved. They don't want to become your friend. What do? We add all this inside of the whole thing. We're like, the guy's like, look, I just want to like get a job. Why all this chit chat? I'm not saying be your nice, friendly self. I'm not saying change who you are. All I'm saying is have bedside manner, have empathy and trust, but don't add in a whole new layer of friendship, which they can get messed up with in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
Right. So now let me ask you for your sales process, because everything is a process, even though it's building the trust and everything. Do you have a structure? Because you have rapport building, then actually get down to the main reason you're here today. Let me find out what we have a whole pitch. And then you have steps like, hey, if the person is disinterested, you say this. If they are skeptical, you say this. What do you have that in your whole process, or how do you work that?
Yes, I'm working on a new book right now called The One Call Sale.
There we go.
Which is coming out soon. And that talks about the structure and the roadmap that you do inside of the conversation. All right. And the way it works is I use a metaphor of an iceberg, because at the top of the iceberg, when you're talking to someone for the first time, they're telling you only surface level issues. They're not unpacking it for you and being vulnerable and telling you the truth. They're just telling you enough to chew on to qualify them. And once you qualify them, you're like, perfect. Let me show you what I got. I can help you with that. We're already on the way to the solution. It turns out all you've got from them is the top level of their issues. So we teach our clients how to go below the iceberg, how to ask questions to unpack their issues to a level that no one ever has done before, where they say to themselves, man, this guy just gets me. He just has my number. It's like doing an x-ray on their problem. Same idea, doctor-patient concept, not moving them forward, but moving them down. I'll give you an example. Let's say on our first call with somebody, I say a Zoom call, it's scheduled, okay? You show up from LinkedIn or whatever. It could be an opportunity for you. Normally what happens is we say things like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. What do you do? What do you do? It's all this chit chat. Here's what we say instead. Of course you say, hello, nice to meet you. Then you say this, you say, if it's okay with you, can we take a step back for a moment? And can you walk me a bit through your story, a bit of your background, your journey, your challenges you're working on right now? We'll go from there. Would you be open to that?
I like that.
You put the ball in their court.
Yeah.
Let them start talking. Not you talking. It's not a two-way dialogue in that call. You're the doctor. Doctors diagnose the problem. They don't talk about themselves. They don't say we're at medical school. Hey, here's my kids. No, they're there for a reason, to solve a problem. What do? We mess it all up with this friendship thing.
Yes. So when you're going through that, you mentioned something before that is where the salesman is so worried about selling and getting the right response from the person, right? Because we want that body response, we want the verbal response, and we want the body response, or non-verbal response.
Non-verbal,
right?
non-verbal response,
Non-verbal response. But what I heard you say before in that call, you said what these guys were doing, they're doing all the head nods to everything you're saying, and you're like, oh man, I got this person. But when they walked away or whatever, they said, okay, we're not going to do whatever. And you said you wanted to change that dynamic. And I understand what you're talking about, the trust. Now you're saying you're putting the ball in the court. Is this, when you put the ball in the court, you're trying to unpack some of those skepticism or something before they even come up?
What I'm trying to do is to get to the truth at the beginning of the process and not the end. See, we think the sales lost at the end. We're like, hey, great meetings, they're perfect. What happened? They dropped out. Why didn't they go forward? Well, it turns out it was lost at hello, because you started the process the wrong way. It's all happening over here, not over here. We've been taught it's all about the close, all about the end. Close that deal. Well, it turns out the deal's lost at the beginning, not the end.
So what was that opening that you did just a while ago again?
I said if it's okay with you, ask permission first. Always ask permission.
Okay.
If it's okay with you, that's trust building. Can we take a step back for a moment? And can you walk me through a bit about your background, your story, your business challenges, and what you're working on? We'll go from there. Would that be okay with you? That's the doctor with bedside manner saying, tell me where it hurts.
I like that opening.
You're positioning yourself as a trusted authority. You're not equal. You're up here, they're down here. You're the expert, they're not. They're there for a problem. Correct. They don't want to be your friend. They want their problem solved.
And that completely takes them off guard, right? So now it's like you get them talking about themselves, right? Now, so now and everyone's comfortable talking about them, right? And then you're just listening at that point. And then now you flip the table now. So now you're the one like, oh man, wow, that's amazing. Oh, let me write that down. Oh man. It's a reverse psychology. I know it, man. No, I love that. I love it, Ari, man. It's now, did you, coming from that pain point off of that phone call, what did that transition look like for you, and kind of reinventing yourself and how you position yourself and how you introduce just the whole mindset around this whole sales?
Well, that was so shocking for me, that experience. I felt so abused and so hurt. I said to myself, man, I've got to do something about this. I'm not going to let other people experience this again. This is just so wrong, ethically just wrong. But it's invisible, it's unconscious. So I decided to launch my business at that point forward and really start helping people see the truth and give them some new languaging, some new phraseology to use to engage and break that pattern. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's say you're on the phone with someone for a first call, a first conversation. The call is going well, good chemistry, good opportunity, and the call kind of comes to a close. Normally we say things to someone like that. We say what? We say, hey, how about we move forward, have a cup of coffee, next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're conditioned to move things where? Forward, right?
Yeah.
But what happens if you try and move someone forward and they aren't ready yet at the beginning? What do you break with them right at the beginning of the process? And they're not ready to go forward.
Yeah.
Exactly. So same scenario, our mindset, our languaging. Good conversation, call's going well, call comes to an end, right? Saying, hey, how about we move forward? What we say instead is this, we say, where do you think we should go from here?
Flip it again, bro. I love it. All right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Where do you think we go? Yeah. So hearing all that you heard today, where do you think we should go from here?
But you got to say it slower. You're way too fast. Where, and drop your voice. Where do you think we should go from here? And pull back from here. You got to create space. When you create space, man, they just jump right in. They go, oh, well, I've got one more question. See, they start to engage with you. And when you say to somebody, where do you think we should go from here? They're usually in a state of shock. They can't believe someone asked them what they want to do there. That's unheard of in selling. This is totally breaking the pattern. And that's where the trust is created by you not following the pattern of trying to drag them forward.
You know, I used to have a closing, and my boss told me it was a soft close, but it worked for me because I always ask you, I said, okay, hearing that you heard all today, from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being, hey, I'm ready to become a United States Marine, and 1 is, I don't never want to be a Marine. Where are you today? And then they'll say something like 7. I said, okay, wow. I'll always say, wow, I thought you'd been at a 5 from what I was saying. So you're at a 7. That's pretty good. So what can take you from that 7 to that 10, right? And it's not as good as yours. I wish I had that one clear. Should we go again and then pull back? But it was a good closing. But I like that right there.
That's fine. I like yours is good too. You can just simply refine it and say, what do you think is missing to get to a 10?
Thank you for listening to the Success Journey Show. Please follow us on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Success Journey Show. Also, check out our website at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey, Ricky, and you see that body language right there? A lot of people don't understand body language. Just like he's saying pulling back, if the person is pushing, leaning into you, that means they're engaged. And you can go more into them and now they're like, oh, he's really engaged. But that pullback, like you said, they create that space. And now they have that time to think and say, oh, he's not trying to high pressure salesman. He really wants to know what's going on.
The perception of you is being changed in real time by not doing the behavior they expect you to do.
So Ari, when do you realize, man, this work? Like, I'm trying to get that picture for our travelers. Like, oh man, he had that instance where he's sitting there and the bomb just dropped on him. Right? It's like, what? I did everything right. What happened? Then I'm gonna go back and make my plan. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do this thing, write a book, whatever it may be. But then when did you realize, like, no, this works? Like, this is it. Where did you get that when did you get that confirmation?
When people started telling me that they used my languaging and made the shift in their mind, and all of a sudden it became easy, no resistance, natural, and they started doubling their results by doing less effort and less energy, which is a total opposite of what we're taught to do. We're taught by the gurus to be energetic, positive, tee yourself up, and get out there and don't be a wimp. Right? You can't take a no. You're not made to be tough.
Go for no. Go for no.
Yeah. Well, we discovered, believe it or not, we discovered that rejection is actually triggered by certain things you say and do that cause the other person to push back on you. If you remove the resistance in advance of that, you don't have to experience rejection anymore. That's why my goal is remove resistance from the process. So it's no longer about the fight anymore. It's about the flow.
And I love this. I love this. So down in, and I'm now this is a good test right here, because you've been from California all the way to Sydney, Australia. How is the dynamics of, because in one place you go, and if you tip somebody in one country, that's looked at as disrespect. In one country, if you don't tip, it's looked at as disrespect. So in the sales process from California all the way to Sydney, Australia, what are some of the different dynamics that you've noticed or you'd have to curve in order to curtail to whatever?
Well, what's funny is I had to change myself, because it wasn't the new culture, it was me. I came from the old traditional model, and coming over here, they're just people too. I just want to trust someone also. Like, it's a global thing. We don't have to adapt ourselves to the culture as long as we're handling ourselves in a way that's authentic around them and their problem. In fact, people are searching right now seeking for people who are real, who don't play games with them. It's a global thing, not just by culture. So I thought I hit against culture issues when I came here, but it turns out here, there, anywhere else, people are really hungry to work with people who they can tell care more about themselves or more about helping the person than themselves. And that's really what it's about. It's about living with people in a way where you can help them see that you're there to help them solve their problem, not just get your own gain.
Ari, talk to me and talk to the listeners about the whole starting your own company, your own consultant now. That's another whole dynamic, even beyond sales. I mean, you're selling yourself, selling your business and what you offer, but there's a lot other elements that kind of play into that. Talk about that learning curve to get to where you are now, where, tell us where you are now. How do you feel now, that you kind of left that environment of sales base for organization, pushing a product, to now you're pushing your products, right? Your brand.
Look, I always, from the beginning, when I left, when I had that job and it happened to me, I quit my job a week later from that experience, and I went on my own. And I did my first ebook. It was 20 pages long on a website. This is years ago. And I had a live chat button on there. It was a long time ago. Live chat is working back then. It said, talk with Ari now. And I'd be at home like this on my computer, on my live chat thing. And people would click the button and they go, is this really Ari Galper? The guy who wrote the book? I'm like, yeah. They're like, why are you on chat talking to people like us on the computer? And I said to him, well, what else should I be doing but talking to people like you who are looking for some help with your problem? Next thing I know is they buy the book. I'm like, that's so weird. I didn't do anything. I just said I'm here. And it was almost like they were checking to see if there's a real human being behind all this. And that woke me up to realize, man, I've got to help people realize that there's real people who want to help people without an agenda, and that creates a sale. It sounds so counterintuitive because we think our job is to control the process. If we don't move them forward, man, we're not going to get anything. We're going to go hungry. Well, it turns out they want to move forward, but we're the roadblock because we use all this sales stuff. I'll give you an example. I'll ask you guys and your listeners and viewers to remove one key phrase from your vocabulary as of today and never use it ever again in your sales world. Now, if you've been in sales for a long time, this might hurt just a bit. Is that all right?
Yeah, yes, it is.
I'm going to ask you guys to never again use the phrase follow-up ever again as of today.
I'm gonna find another synonym for
that one. I can feel the pain already, and I'd raise people hands in the room. How many of you called someone and said, "Hi, I'm calling to follow up the last few weeks," or an email, "I'm writing you to follow up." What's the only industry in the world that uses the word follow up? Typically,
Consultant,
sales people. I'm calling to follow up. I'm calling to touch base, checking in. How's it going? This is like 1980s. Like, we're still so stuck in this language, and we're wondering why we're killing our own deals because our words say, "I'm one of those people." See, so let me give you the phrase you use instead of that now, and here it is. Here's the mic drop. I'm giving you a call to see if you have any feedback from our previous conversation, any feedback from our last meeting, any feedback from our interview, any feedback from our whatever. See, feedback's going which direction? Away from the sale, not towards the sale. When you remove resistance and momentum from the sale, people just pop forward. They go, "Oh wait, I got to tell you something." Really? And they start talking. You're like, "Oh my God, he was right." By me letting go, trying to move them forward, they just open up. And that's the goal, to get to the truth of people. They feel comfortable telling you everything.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You know why? So when we used to do our cold calls, "Hey, how you doing today, Miss Smith? This is Sergeant Madden. I'm the Marine Corps recruiter." Click. "Hello, Miss Smith. How you doing today? I'm the Marine Corps representative." That word alone changed everything. You said representative, and it wasn't. They didn't think recruiter, and they stay on the phone with you. "Oh, you're the representative for the Marine Corps." And I was like, "Wow, you just took representative versus recruiter. All right."
Wow, man. All right, man.
So no more follow up, touching base, and what's the other one again?
Checking in.
Checking in. Yeah. Touching base.
I'm thinking about. I just wanna. What was yours again?
Feedback.
I get any feedback? Oh, I love it. All right. So
those small changes alone are dramatic.
Oh yeah, they're game changing. They are game changing. Now, Ari, tell our listeners around the world, about your services, book, things of that nature. Give them a little bit more context as to what you offer the world now.
Well, the best place to dip your toe in the water with us is to go to unlockthegame.com and get my book called Unlock the Sales Game.
There we go. Yep.
You got to consume what we have first to make sure you're okay with it, because it requires a transformation in your own thinking. It requires letting go of what you're holding on. You got to be humble. You got to want to learn. If you come in with an attitude around this, like you know it all, forget it. We don't want to talk to you. But if you consume that book or watch there's a free master class there, watch that 45-minute class, and it hits you like, man, why didn't you hear this 20 years ago? Then jump forward, ask for a consultation with us and talk to us about what's possible, because if you're ready to learn and be open, we can detox you. We can detox you out of that old way of thinking real fast and give you languaging mapped to every single one of your scenarios you address every day in your own life. All kinds of stuff like objections, right? People say to you, your price is too high. What do you say? Defend yourself? Well, we have ways to diffuse all the resistance in your entire business model in ways you never thought possible.
Love it.
Yeah.
Travelers, you guys hear that? You hear that? Unlocking the power. He said unlocking the power.
Unlock the sales game.
Unlock the sales game.
Yep.
That's your next book, Unlock the Power, right? Unlock the sales game. It was just so powerful.
Author Ricky Ventures.
Yeah. I'll do the forward for you, man. No. Yes, guys, you guys need to go and check that out. I mean, this is game changing right here. I don't know if you guys see me keep looking down. I'm not texting. I'm actually writing notes, right? I'm writing notes as to different things that he said. I pulled so much so far out of this conversation, and it has transformed even the way that I think. I'm in the more of the consultant world, where there's a lot of sale aspect to that. Marlon and I, we talk to a lot of people. How many proposals have we send out to people? Right. And we're checking in. Hey, just want to check in with you and see.
I follow up all the time.
Yeah, I follow all the time. Hey, just want to follow up. So all these things are like, man. So just hearing this, Ari, it makes us laugh, but it also opens our eyes to, wow, there's different ways that we can connect with people. I want to, I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the beginning of the show, but you talked about your family and the influence your family had on you in terms of your shift and the way you think about things. Can you expound on that a little bit more? I really believe that there's a piece of that really shapes who you are and what you're able to deliver to our world today.
Sure. So I wrote a book. It's on my website. It's called Lessons from Toby, about my son, Toby. He's 18 years old now. And he's just continues to be a hero for us in terms of his ability to connect with people, just to have that transparency. He's the role model we need to become. We need to learn how he is with people, and we need to become more like that, more authentic, more open. We carry this, what I call sales armor on around us. We carry this shield around us to protect ourselves from the bullets. We're trying to be strong and handle the resistance. But I'm like, how do we eliminate resistance so it doesn't have to happen? So we can walk with strength through the process versus the battle. And if you can think this through in advance and get this right, you just won the game before it even starts.
Yeah. So how for the travelers, we call them travelers because we believe everybody's on a journey. They want to know Sydney, Australia. How you've been there 20 years, so either your wife is not letting you leave or you love it.
I actually love it. It's similar to California, similar to San Diego. As you know, San Diego, grew up there, but similar lifestyle, but people are really easygoing. It's a safe place to be. And, it feels right. It's comfortable for me. So it was hard in the beginning to adapt my business model, but now we're all virtual. We coach people around the world all the time. I got a team and it just works. I literally walk from my house to my office. I'm 2 minutes away from my house. I got to be home to help out, and it just works. I designed the business around my lifestyle to be able to match and support my family at the same time and be close to home, yet still make a global impact with my books and stuff like this.
Man, I love it. Is Crocodile Dundee still a hero down there?
No, not much.
No, nobody say that's not a knife. This is a knife. They don't do that.
Exactly. If you got a New York accent there, I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. No, I love it. So as we come closer to the end of the show here, we often ask our guests, just going back to a time in their life where they could have 1 minute with themselves. It's so funny. And what I'm saying is I saw a movie this weekend. It was called The Adam Project. And it actually was a guy that went back in time and saw his former self at the age of 12. And, just the conversation that he was having with him. And it was funny because the 12-year-old looked at him like, man, how did I become this great thing like you? And the guy was looking back at the 12-year-old and said, man, I remember when I was I was a nerd like you, so it was weird. But so we always kind of paint that same picture on the show. Not that you were a nerd when you were 12, when you go back to a time in life and you can just have 1 minute to yourself to say, just part words of wisdom as to what's coming in the future. What's something you would share with yourself? First, identify what that age, who that person was, where you were at that moment, and then kind of share what will you share in that 1 or 2 minutes with them.
Well, let's go back to the story of the conference call.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking the same thing.
Because people always ask me, what would I do now after 20 years in this game? What would I have done back then if I had that call? Now that I know what I know now, right? After going through all that pain. And the answer to that question is that I never would have had the call. Because on the first contact with him, I would have got to the truth.
Wow. That's
Sit
it.
back.
That's simple. That's it. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
deep right.
Wow. I thought you had been like, whoa, they're going to use me for information. I was going to feed them bad information. No, I man, that sums it up, man. I would not have had that I wouldn't have even been on that call because in that first call, you would have come to the truth.
So,
Man.
so the main thing is just getting to the truth.
It's building enough trust with them, and what I call a moment of vulnerability, where they feel that you're not going to use what they tell you against them. They're going to tell you the truth, and you'll be okay with it. It's not a technique to get information from them. It's you're telling them, I'm okay either way. All I want to know is what the truth is. I'm cool. I can walk away, no problem. They got to feel that you're okay to walk away.
Yeah.
This is
And they feel they trust you.
This is intricate. You simplify it, but it's intricate. Very intricate. Very intricate.
I'm thinking about that next book that you got to write for the person that's on the other side of the table. Because you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where now when you're experiencing, how do you get a salesperson to get to the truth so that you can, for one, time is critical for everyone, right? I don't have time to have multiple calls with you. I don't have time for you to go on this whole journey and relationship with you. I want to get to the truth. What is it that you have? What is it that you want to give me? How can you help me? What is your value proposition for me? How do I do that? And that's what I'm thinking now. Like, how do I get to that side of it?
Let's role play for a second. I got to go in a minute. Okay, I'm almost done here, but let's role play for a second. So why don't you come at me if you're the customer and I'll be the other
Rick,
guy on the side.
You're the customer. I want to watch this.
So throw me something that you would imagine a rep having to deal with around this. I think you just did something a minute ago. Something about what you can do for me. What's your proposition? How can you help me? Kind of like give me your pitch kind of thing, right? Or something.
Okay, so I'm the customer, you saying, and you're the
you're the customer. You're the customer.
Okay. So I said,
you're the prospect.
I'm the prospect. There we go. All right. So break it down for me. Like, what is it exactly are you providing? How are you going to help us advance in this area? What metrics do you show for us for reporting? Can you really give me more clarity around that? Because I'm kind of lost here.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Yeah. I'm not even sure I can even help you, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to even assume that I can until I first figure out what's the exact issue you're trying to solve. I want to understand what the impact of it is and is it a priority to solve. If it's okay with you, can we take a step back for a moment? Walk me through what you're trying to solve, what your issues are. Then we'll back out from there and I can tell you if I can help you or not. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
So you see what I just did? I just sort of like turned the tables to make them realize that makes no sense to talk about the solution until we first understand the problem. That's common sense.
Absolutely.
And that's all I did there. I said, remember, watch what I did. I said, you came at me and I said, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's diffused. That's diffused. Diffuse the tension.
Pause.
Pause. That's it. That's pause. Create the space.
Yeah.
Let it absorb.
Yeah.
Then come back in and say, look, I'm not even sure I can help you, actually.
Yeah.
Boom. Different. Like, what the?
Wait a minute. What are we doing here then?
What's going on here? Like, what? Look, would it make sense? Notice permission. Would it make sense if you took a step back for a moment? Walk me through your situation. Help me understand what your challenges are. Then I can see exactly where I can help you if I can or not. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
How can you resist that?
Yeah. I love it.
On that note, guys, I got a hard stop in the next few minutes.
Listen, man, this has been wonderful. We truly appreciate you being on the show, guys. All his information is in our show notes. Please go check him out. Ari, we appreciate you. Have a good one. Thank you for being on the Success Journey Show. Everyone, we'll see you next week at the same time. Have a good one. Peace.
All right, one love. Peace.
You've been listening to The Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.